Thank you very much, Kim, for this kind introduction, and thank you very much to APSA for this invitation to get us here, the European Research Council, to have this opportunity today to present to you the funding opportunities that exist with the European Research Council in Brussels. We particularly appreciate that because we realize that the ERC is not as well known as other funding, excuse me, other funding institutions over here. So, but I do hope that my talk this morning can, show a little bit what that ERC might actually be an option, also for U.S. researchers to consider when looking at funding the next major research project. So, my talk this morning is going to be, excuse me, is going to be structured in 3 parts. So first of all, I'm going to explain what the ERC is and what our funding opportunities are about. Secondly, that also includes, of course, who can apply. Secondly, how do we evaluate, what are our criteria, what are we looking for when we fund research? And thirdly, as requested, I would like to give a few pointers on what's important when applying for an ERC grant. So ERC, or the European Research Council, is an institution that is part of the European Commission. It supports excellent individual researchers to investigate any research topic that they deem suitable to push the frontier of knowledge. Now, that was a bit of a definition on what we do. There's a lot of content in there. And it's a lot of content that is different from what you would usually expect from an EU project. There are many ideas out there about what the EU funds and doesn't fund. So let me be very specific on what the ERC does. We are a part of the Commission, but we operate in different ways in terms of what we fund. So when I said excellence, then this is the key word about when I said excellence, then this is the key word. This is what ERC is about. It's about scientific excellence only. We don't have any other evaluation criteria. We look for the very best researchers, period. That's it. And we do not fund networks. We fund individuals. So there are no groups. There's no requirement to have partners or anything. You can have a team if you want to, but you don't need to. Secondly, any research question. That means we don't give any themes or topics that we think are important. There are no policy goals for us. It is really the idea that we think researchers do their best work when they choose to investigate the topic that they are passionate about. Then we think they do their best work. So you can choose any topic, and to move the frontier of knowledge, what that means is basically, we are not looking for incremental projects. We are looking for something that at least has the potential to change the course of a scientific field. So when we say impact, we mean scientific impact. We want a project to be able to go further and really change a field in science. So in this case, it's political science. The ERC, of course, funds all areas of science. This is so these are a few of the key points about that are important to note about ERC, and I'm going to come back to them in the rest of 2 minutes that I have left here. So I'm going way too slow. Let me speed up here. Is it okay? Okay, I see I have a bit more time. So we have 3 funding schemes that basically where we follow the same principles. It's the starting grants, the consolidator grants, and the advanced grants. So for the starting grants, you have to have a PhD that is older than 2 years. So it's 2 to 7 years after PhD. This is the time slot where you can apply. So as you can see, we operate with academic age. So this is also important. Age doesn't matter for us. Neither does matter where you're currently placed. You can be in the US and you can apply for an ERC grant. Nationality does not matter. So any nationality is eligible to apply. It doesn't matter where you currently work or what you want to study. So you can see ERC is a highly flexible scheme. It's very open. So to continue with the schemes, the second one is the consolidator scheme. It's 7 to 12 years after PhD. And finally, the advanced grants. There you have to have a PhD that is past, that is 12 years in the past. There are substantial funding amounts that we grant. For the starting grants, it's 1.5 million euros. For consolidator, it's 2 million, and for advanced grant, 2.5. And here is the good message for US applicants that are based beyond Europe. For all of these 3 grants, you can actually apply for additional funding just for the sheer fact that you come from beyond Europe. We want to put this incentive so that you come to Europe, work at a European host institution, at least for a while, stimulate exchange, and for this we offer for the starting grant 500,000 euros extra. For the, sorry about that. For the consolidated grants, it's 750,000, and for the advanced grant, it's 1 million euros. So at the very top for the advanced grant, we offer 3.5 million for senior researchers, which is just under $4 million right now. So I want to summarize. The ERC supports excellent researchers only. You have to calibrate yourself. Are you in the top third of your field? Just to stand a chance, otherwise it might be difficult to be successful in this scheme. You have to be very competitive, that's very clear. Excellence only, it counts for everything. You have to find a host institution that is based in Europe or in an associated country like Turkey or Norway or Israel. And you have to spend a certain amount of time in Europe at that host institution. The minimum is 30% for advanced grant and 50% of your time in the starting grants and the consolidated grants. The good news is that this is flexible over the project durations. Our project durations are up to 5 years, and so it is accumulative. So you can start up your project in Europe, spend a lot of time there, say a year or 2, and then you come back to the to your host institution, and then maybe when it gets more intensive at the end of the project, you can come back. So this is a little bit the flexibility that we also try to provide here, because we realize that top people have also have already an institution, but we want to keep this flexible as well to give you an incentive. So with that, I want to close, and I'm happy to take questions that you may have later on. Thank you very much.